Welcome to Undrafted Hockey Fan. I'm Brad. Today we're here with Elaine. And Elaine, I'm going to surprise you. We're actually going to show off some of your artwork real quick.
My gosh.
You have photography. If you're on YouTube, you can see Elaine's photography. Let me pull it up real quick. It's in Darkroom. You can see right here. She's got a couple of photos and everything. Lots of fences. We got some buildings, flowers. They are adorable. So if you want to go purchase this stuff, you can go find it at gracebyrain.com. And you can check out her podcast, her articles, blogs. She's got a lot of stuff, so you can go check that out. If you're on audio, well, welcome to this. You're now going to get a sneak peek into Elaine. Elaine, how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Doing well. And we had a lot of talking before, but let's just jump into it. I know we're going to talk about the preseason game, and I want to kind of get your vibes on. What do you think? And mind you, like you're a Chicago fan. So of course your heart was broken coming, watching Detroit, but you've covered so much AHL, you've Chicago Wolves, Cleveland Monsters, you're now covering the Grand Rapids Griffins. So, how does it feel to be in enemy territory?
Well, it's a little weird. Now, my mom is a born and bred Wings fan. So
yep, rightfully so. It's good.
Yeah, so I guess that's what happens when you live in Western Ohio. You end up a Wings fan.
Western Ohio. That's closer to Chicago, really. I
don't know. That's just
when she was younger. I guess they were winning. Like 97 is like when they were winning, and then Chicago started winning like the 2010s and everything. So
well, that's true. She's old school because I'm 40. So like.
I thought you were like 27, so good for you.
No, I'm definitely 40. I just turned 40 in August.
Congratulations. Me too. I turned 35, so you're good.
Look at us. We look amazing.
Virgo, man, so.
But it was weird. It was weird last night, and it was weird at the red and white game for me. I was like, Patrick Kane comes out, they announce him, and the whole place is like going wild, and it's a red light. So I'm like, this checks, this vibe checks, and then I was like, oh god,
yeah,
that's a Wings logo on his chest, and I know he's been there. It's not like this is new, but I don't think I've seen him play. I haven't seen him play live.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't think I have in a Wings since he's been with the Wings, and so it was just a very weird, like 2010 Elaine is like, what is happening? Like you always wanted to cover Patrick Kane. Here I was.
Yep.
Here I was.
Yep.
So it's not. You know what? I have been covering Grand Rapids though since 2021, and they're like one of my favorite organizations to work with. They're so great. It's part of the reason why I moved here.
Yeah.
Like moved 5 hours away to and still cover hockey. Like they're a great organization, and so it's not too weird, but it is because also like I'm a Bears fan, so like that's also been like weird for me, knowing that like
you stole our head coach or our offensive coach.
Yeah, and then also like I'm also a Guardians fan, so like that's been like I can't bring up baseball right now. Sorry, everyone, if you're getting PTSD.
It's all right. It's all right. So, I'm like so into hockey, and my wife is so into football. So like I'm into football. Like I definitely have the hockey passion more, but like I'm definitely getting into football. So
you're not quite feeling the pain right now that everyone.
Oh no, I was told not to become a Lions fan. When I was younger, because they'll just break your heart, and my heart stayed intact. Besides a couple high school relationships, they stayed intact for a long time, and I am absolutely a bandwagon for sure. Like there is no like I'm not mad about it. I know where I stand in the relationship of this. I didn't go through the heartache, and I know the victory of the Super Bowl won't be as sweet, but I'll take it anyways.
My parents let me pick my teams, especially for football. They're like, just pick. My mom was like, maybe she'll do Cincinnati or the Lions. Maybe she'll do one of them. And I was like, okay, Bears and Browns. I set myself up for so much pain.
I know, you're so much success right there. Wow. Choice. Well, I'm sorry you're having to manage with that. Mind you, you were a fan of a Chicago team who is also in the basement right now. So you're used to these teams that are just not. Well, I guess you got the good. You got the good Chicago when Kane and Taves were in their prime, and it's weird seeing Taves with an A in the Winnipeg Jets uniform.
It should be a C, first of all. Like, I know he's new.
You can't.
But he's hometown boy. Do you know how many jerseys you would sell with a C on his chest? They'd be like,
next
I
year.
remember him when he was little.
Next year, don't worry. I'm sure.
That sounds like such a Cleveland thing to say. Next year.
Well, and let's transition. Actually, I do. Well, this is a good transition to the Griffins. So, what did you cover the Griffins last year then as well?
I did. Yeah, I covered them. Yeah, like I said, since the 2021 COVID season.
Okay, so what are your thoughts on this? And this is the one that I brought to Nick, and so you can talk to him more about this because you have more access than I do. I thought it was odd that Josiah Didier got captaincy right as he signed. I thought that was odd, and Nick spoke really highly of him. What was your thoughts on that situation? What happened, and what are your opinions? I mean, respectfully, on what happened with Didier and everything.
I think that maybe because sometimes news comes out slowly in the AHL.
Sure.
I think maybe he was already signed and then they gave him the C. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
meaning more like he was signed and then it might have been not right away. Like,
no, it was really close. You're right.
He signed as a free agent and then was at the start of the season had the C. And I was like,
yeah.
Why?
No, I think it was a pretty close timeline. I think I'm trying to remember that year. It was kind of a blur. That part of the off season was kind of a blur for me. I honestly I wasn't sure about it at first. I was confused. But then as you're like in the locker room, I didn't get into the locker room last season until January. Because the Monsters had so many home games in the first half of the season. There was just no way I was going to be able to make it up. Like,
and tell them why you were covering the Griffins and the Monsters, and you had a huge workload, right?
Yeah, no, it was insane. Like in 2021, I was covering like all 6 teams in the Central, which was dumb. Sorry. At that time, it was Iowa, Texas, Rockford, Chicago, Griffins, and Cleveland, because Manitoba was playing in the North because Canadian teams couldn't play till like
COVID,
yeah. And then I just kind of like slowly dropped teams because the other teams were like so great to me too, and I didn't want to just like be like peace out. Like I'm done with you. I still have some great relationships with the people at Milwaukee and Chicago for sure. But I slowly dropped them.
Did Weisblatt? The Weisblatt? He
wasn't there when I covered.
Okay. Yeah. So R.I.P. I have not mentioned on a podcast yet, but Ozzy Weisblatt's brother passed away in a car accident, so that's pretty tough. So
yeah, that is tough, and the organization is, I think, handling it very. I mean, like how they're going about things very well.
Yeah.
And I haven't really. Most teams, unfortunately, do handle it well. I've got to experience that twice with my former beat. So,
can you elaborate?
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, if you're a hockey fan, you already know. But like, I mean, the Monsters, it was definitely like a shock, in 2021 when we lost Matisse, which was like really hard for all of us. Like he was my friend, and the way that both organizations were able to just kind of like handle emotions for everyone, and like they definitely bore a lot of the weight of the fans too. But the fans, at least I know, and I don't know too much about how it was in Columbus at the time because I was so like Cleveland focused because I was struggling. But the fans definitely lifted that organization up on their backs during the first few months of that season. And then, Johnny last year, that was really tough. He was such a good guy, and the Jackets, how they handled that was so beautiful and so good. Like they let everyone grieve. They let, the players all grieve. They let them like be sad, but also was like, hey, like, let's do something good in his name. It wasn't like we should win because we need to win games and it'll make you feel better. It was like, let's win it for Johnny. Like, let's honor him. It wasn't like that in itself is kind of a lot of pressure, but when you love someone so much, it doesn't feel like just feels more natural than like, let's go win some games.
Yeah.
So
Well, and it's hard to get up to that passion and everything. It's hard to get up sometimes and do that, right? Where you're in a depressive state or anything. So,
well, it is. I almost quit writing completely after Matisse. That's first season was like really tough because I just went like it was just a lot for me to go into the arena, and he didn't even pass away there. But like it was just really tough.
He did it in Waterford, which is like it was Waterford.
Novi.
Novi. That's what it was. Because
Yeah.
I lived like I grew up 25 minutes from Novi, and I live like 15 minutes from Novi now. So yeah, it's like very close. It was Chris Osgood's place, I think it was.
No, it was at I think it was Manny's.
Manny Legacy, yeah. So, and just to recap for everyone who isn't a complete hockey obsessed person like we are, we have Johnny Gaudreau died in a car. He was hit by a car while riding bikes with his brother. They both passed away. Drunk driver who I believe was sentenced at this point. So, some justice, but we'd rather have him here anyways. Then you have so you said Mattis or
Matisse.
Okay, because I always said Matthias, so that's why I said Matisse Kivlenix died in a firework accident at Manny Legacy's place out in Novi. So he jumped in front of the firework or got hit in the chest, and then he passed away. And then Orca Weisblatt, who we were just talking about at the start, he's the brother of Ozzy Weisblatt, a former San Jose Sharks first-round draft pick. And they grew up in a deaf family. He died in a car accident just within the last 2 days. So it's just, I mean, you hate the hockey community is so small. It's, and you don't start to realize how these make waves and everything. When you consider that there's 800 players, 800 players ish, right? That kind of rotate in and out in the NHL. Right. And then you have the smaller leagues, of course. But I mean, overall, you have maybe like 2,000 guys playing pro hockey. Right.
Everybody knows everybody. I swear. Like when I was interning in youth hockey, like I was with the AAA Blue Jackets in Columbus. And oh my goodness, like you travel around, right? Like you're traveling to different states, like your Arizona Junior Coyotes or like the Pittsburgh Penalty, Bell Tire,
Little Caesars.
Like Fox. I think it's Fox. Oh gosh, I can't remember. There's one right here. I think it's Fox Valley or something like that. Like after the motor.
Fox.
So you're going all over San Jose's Junior Sharks. You're going so all over and it's tier 1 elite. So like a lot of these kids end up going semi-far or all the way up. So like you all get to know each other. Somebody had this person as a coach. Somebody's like sister dated this guy. On the team. Like everybody knows everyone, and then you throw in billet parents, right?
Oh yeah.
And then it's just like one thing happens to one person, and it's just like you play 1 degree to 2 degrees of separation. It's so wild how small the hockey community is. It is definitely growing, especially with more and more players like going overseas. So like you're seeing them like meet other people, but like that then makes it even small, like the world even smaller, because then people just like seem to know everyone. Like you can't.
No, I hear you. My wife's one of the teachers she works with, his wife is a teacher for the in the school area where the USNTDP is, which is the U.S. National Development Program. And so they just went to Ty Emberson's wedding, who plays for the Edmonton Oilers, who was, again, San Jose Shark. By the way, I'm a San Jose Shark fan as well. So it goes like Wings, Sharks, Stars. And so, by the way, if you want to check out my interview with the VP of a radio station down the Stars, I will add that into the card and then in the description as well. But it was a great conversation with him. He just knew so much Stars information. It was really good. And especially because we had the training camp. That was what we talked about.
The prospects games down there.
Yeah. So when I went to Austin and I got to see guys, I got to see like Bissell, I got to see Poirier, I got to see like a lot of the AHLers. I saw Soderblom in the stands because he wasn't playing that night down playing in Austin. Like I saw Costa play. Like it was like I get to see all this stuff in Austin. So it was really fortunate timing and everything. But let's spin and talk about the Red Wings. We're already 15 minutes in. We've hardly talked any Red Wings.
I know.
So I know. So well, and I guess I will call it Diet Red Wings because they're not. There's a couple Red Wings on the squad, but for the game against Chicago, if you haven't tuned in, the game Red Wings won 3-2, which it sounds closer than it actually was. I think Chicago had like 18 shots and Red Wings had like 40 plus. It was crazy. It was
Arvid Soderblom.
dude, he is. I mean, these Soderbloms will tell you, man, they keep shocking us, right? No, it's funny. I've actually been a big fan of Soderblom. The goalie, not for Chicago, and also a fan of Elmer as well. Big glue guy. And so with that, I like Arvid a lot. I was actually really hoping the Red Wings would try and trade for him when it happened with the trade from Mrazek and all this stuff. I was really hoping they would get Arvid, but
yeah, I don't think they're gonna let him go. I mean, he brings so much to the Hogs, and like,
not anymore. He's a Blackhawk.
Yeah,
now.
I was just gonna say, like, he's gonna play up top this season, right? Like,
yeah, well, he'll back up Spencer Knight for sure. So
yeah, but I mean, like in the regular season, I'm trying to remember who their attendees are.
It was Mrazek, and then it was Laurent Brossoit, but he's injured.
Right. So yeah, he's probably going to be on that opening day roster.
Yeah, absolutely.
Totally deserves it. That he was such a pain in the butt for so many people last year, like just like his brother.
Yeah. So I listened to the Steve Dangle podcast, and they talk about him how he is a Leaf killer, and he's like 5-1 against the Leafs. It's like since his tenure, because they only play him twice a year, right? Right. And they always play Soderblom, so it's pretty funny.
That's actually amazing.
Yeah, no, it is.
That's so amazing.
Yeah, which is crazy. So you're like, oh, dude, like no way. And so yeah, and he's 26, 6'3", so he's a big guy, just like his brother. Just signed a new contract at $2.75 million. But yeah, I mean, he's been kind of rocking under 900. He did get 898 last year. He played 36 games. I mean, that's a pretty sizable workload, right? And I imagine if he runs another 36 games, I mean, they're probably going to try and run Spencer Knight closer to the 45, 50 games just because they want to make sure that he can get the reps in and everything.
I would assume so.
Yeah, so I imagine that will end up happening. So we will see. So it'll be interesting to see how that happen. So, but again, I'm a big fan of Soderblom. And then who's kind of stood out for you in the game yesterday? I mean, you can be on both sides, right? I think there's plenty of guys that stood out, but I want to get your take. So why don't you give me one or two guys that you really stood out for you?
Yeah. Well, okay, we'll just say the only one from the Hawks, and that's Sam Rinzel. I had no clue who this kid was. I'm being real honest.
Yeah.
I had no clue. I don't know why I had no clue. And I was like, who is this kid?
Yeah.
Why is he? What is he doing? Why is he here? Like, why is he doing this to the Wings? Like, he was everywhere. He was definitely. I'm like, oh, we got to keep an eye on that one.
Yeah.
But okay, so
he was a first round pick, by the way, in 2022. So I mean, like he was 25th.
Right. I'm just like, who is it? Maybe I'm just not paying as much attention. I mean, I know I'm not paying as much attention to the Hawks as I used to, and the Ice Hawks. Like the past few seasons have been a little crazy pants.
Well, in University of Minnesota, he had 32 points in 40 games as a defenseman. So not like Z Boom, territory, but still like very good. And so
I wish the Boom boys were playing together.
Buddy, I know you're telling me. I remember the draft. I think because there was talks about Eisman wanted him, and so they were going to try and move up for him. So with that draft, it's 2024 draft. Minnesota makes a trade with Philadelphia. They move up. Minnesota was the 13th, and they move up to 12th so they can grab Z William. And that's where Detroit they tried to move up. They weren't able to because they wanted to get Z. End up getting Michael Bronseg, Nygaard, however you want to say it. But yeah, there was huge talks about them wanting him, and I would have loved it because I'm a little. And you're covering the Griffins, so I'm a little harder on prospects because I I want to, not that I need to see flashes, but I need to see security. I need to see something. What are you doing for us in the future? I can't have all these second round picks if he keep being third pair defenseman. I can't have Wallinder be a third pair defenseman on a playoff team. I can't have Buliam.
So
yeah,
Wallinder looked really good. Also, the flex on his shot, like
it looked good. It looked so good.
Where have you been, baby? Where have you
been? That's kind of where I'm at. And again, I don't mind stocking the cupboards. I think the Red Wings have a lot of prospects, and I'm heavily critical. I think Yzerman is doing what he can. Yeah. I have so much belief in the Yzerman plan, but I have thoughts and opinions, right? Like I was questioning the Carter Bears first round pick this past year, and I was like, okay, I don't know. And then I saw some of his game. He's good production, and I was like, okay, he performed really well, and he actually had the most last night during the preseason game. He had the most time on ice for a forward because he was playing on the top line, so we saw.
I think he fits the organization.
Yes.
So that's the one thing that just irks me. I think sometimes about the draft. Is teams will be like, well, he's the best one, so we should take him. And then I'm like, is he the best one for your team? Because the best one may not necessarily be the best one for your team because you already have all these parts and they're not going to jive with him. So I get it. Like people really want like that number one draft pick. They want the guy that everyone wants. But I just want to see someone just like Hail Mary it and be like, I'm going to take this defender from an ACHA hockey team and he turns out to be amazing.
Funny you say that. I'll give you an example. Columbus did this. Columbus ended up picking a guy in the first round who was projected to go in like the 4th or 5th round. It was, I believe, I'm looking it up right now. I have the Colorado Avalanche up. That's why, not Columbus Blue Jackets. Who was it? Chinnikov?
Mm-hmm.
It was a Chinnikov, yeah. And it was
was it the 4th? Was it the 4th round?
It was not the 2nd round or 3rd.
It was not. No, and it was like the year after his draft. I think I'm almost positive. Like they like woke him up in the middle of the night to tell him that he was drafted. Yeah,
it was a 21st overall pick. I'm very sure it was Chinnikov, and they're like, who? Like it was like visibly, everyone was like, "Who? What are you talking about?"
That's what. Okay, so Yarmo had great scouting people. I don't know so much what it's like since Yarmo left, but they found these diamonds in the rough. Like Chris Clark. Okay, I know we're talking about the Wings and the Griffins, but like this is also important to what the Griffins have to deal with. Is Chris Clark, GM of the Monsters, he finds diamonds in the rough. Okay. He finds people from like University of Nebraska, Omaha. He finds like
guys. Dad, yeah.
Yeah, like he finds guys from everywhere. He looks for people. He goes based on attitude too. He'll be like, okay, but what kind of person is he? Is he a good person? Does he have a good attitude? What's it like when they lose? He just finds these guys you don't even expect, right? Like he's like Billy Sweezy, like he's finding people like that, and it's just like it blows my mind how he does it. But that's just kind of how it is with the Jackets organization right now. Like they just find guys, and you're like, where'd you find them? Where I feel that sometimes the Wings organization sticks to like a certain thing. Like if they're from Michigan, that's like bumps you up to like the top of the list, which is fine. There's a lot of good hockey players from Michigan. I'm not knocking that, but
don't even get me started. It is incredibly. I don't really understand the drafting a lot of times. I'm like, when I saw Carter Bear, I was like, why not Victor Eklund? Why not Cole Rushne? Like, there's plenty of other like good, like really good, like Colin Potter. Like, I mean, there's a lot of really good. And again, I'm not a huge prospect. I'm learning more about prospects as I go. But I'm just like, what's happening?
What I heard though is that Carter Bear is also one of the most like moldable, most like he's open to growth. I heard that from a lot of different scouts and from people who have worked with him. Is they're like he's he's very open
He's a
to what you
sponge.
say. Yeah, he's a sponge, and he's open to, and if he can't get, he's open to working on it.
Yeah.
And that's what I do like about the Wings organization, especially what I noticed from the Griffins this summer, is at the end of the season, a lot of them said things they needed to work on to get better.
Yeah.
And I'm used to hearing that from other teams, and they're like, okay, and then they come in and you're like, all right, you look kind of better. A lot of them look a lot better. They look like they actually like tried to get better. They put the work in, and if it wasn't working, they like tried something new. Emmitt Finnie got bigger, right? Not, I mean, he's 10 pounds bigger, but like it's still bigger, and he needs to get. I personally think he does need to get stronger. He is stronger than he was last season. He's so fast.
Yeah.
I know a lot of, he is good, and he has shown up
he is 20, by the way. He's only 20, right?
So he does, but he needs to get stronger for sure.
He just turned 20 in June, so he's not he's not even like going to be 21 soon, and he's a 7th round pick, right? And I agree, totally, I agree. Like the fact that
if he makes it up, I think he should come up at some point this season. I think there's a chance that he comes up at the start, just because of the way I've heard people talking, and the way that like during the chalk talk at the red and white game, like it was a season ticket holder thing, and the media got to attend to it. The way that Coach and CVY and Sean Horkoff were talking about him, I was like, oh, they're probably gonna, there's a good chance. And he did so well, like during the first preseason game. I was like, wow, okay, I can get behind him coming up eventually.
Yeah.
Like, eventually. But I think people need to also like not sleep on Amadeus Lombardi. He just doesn't fit so much. Like Ammo doesn't fit with Larkin and Raymond the same way that that Emmitt does. Because
can you elaborate? Yeah.
Just like definitely with the fast, like the quickness. He's got to be able to, people have got to be able to keep up with them, because they think on the fly. And I also mean like with their brain, right? Like Finnie does have a very fast moving brain as well. And
good hockey sense.
Those two think on the fly, they pass on the fly. They're like pew pew pew. Like to have a guy like him when he's ready, it would be perfect. But like, I don't think he's 100% ready. And my fear is that because he isn't as strong and as big, if they bring him up too soon, he gets hurt. And like, we don't want that.
Well, so like looking at the roster right now, okay, I'm looking at Puckpedia right now. So they have 8 defensemen signed, 2 goalies, and 13 forwards. But they have Austin Watson up there. My guess is it's not going to be Austin Watson. It'll be Carter Mazur. So then you look at the front lineup. Let's say you bring Finnie in, and again, I'm not sure how familiar you are with the Red Wings roster, but who are you taking out?
Yeah, I don't.
Because to me, I think you can waive Justin Hall. Like he won't get claimed, right? You can waive a Travis Hamonic. Those are 2 guys that are not going to get claimed. Justin Hall for sure with a $3.4 million ticket. You know, he's not going to.
Right.
No one's going to.
I would say it depends on saying they won't get claimed. This has happened before many times where like someone's like, okay, we're going to send them down. They're probably not going to get claimed. And then a team picks them up specifically so they can have them on their AHL team.
Christian Fisher?
Yes.
No. Well, Christian Fisher only played like a couple of games for you guys over there. He actually retired this year, but yes, but if they claim them, so if they claim him, they have to waive him. Like, so let's say Red Wings claim a guy, or Red Wings waive a guy, Columbus picks him up. Columbus has to re-waive him, and if he passes the waivers,
are the Red Wings going to pick them back up? That's the thing.
They might. I mean, like, because the thing is, let's say he plays for a week, then that gives you a week to play with Finnie, see where he's at. He plays 2 or 3 games, and you're like, nope, get out of here.
And then he has to go through waivers on the way back up.
Not Finnie.
Well, no, but I'm saying like.
Yeah.
It's way more. Waivers are way more like they're not complicated, but they kind of are. Like there's more to it. Like, yeah. So I always tell people like that. Honestly, the best time to get a guy through is when everybody sends therapy. Like
Start of the season, basically.
Like when you know, and you're like, okay, one big batch down. Like that's when, because usually people are looking for like one or two specific people that they want to grab. So someone like Colin Harmonic, they're not gonna, people aren't going to be like looking for them, kind of thing. I mean, unless they're like actually like need them on the team. But
yeah. So give me I know clearly Finnie rocked it Amadeus. But give me one more, because we're gonna take a quick break and go for an ad break. So give me a teaser so people can listen on the other side of the break. Who do you think?
Who do I think like
who wowed you? I know clearly Finnie did. Anyone else?
Yeah. I mean, I'm always on Austin Watson's side.
Fair. He is always right, and we'll talk about how right he is right after our break. So stay tuned. Your season, your shot. The NFL season is rolling, and every touchdown can bring you closer to a payout with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. From first touchdown scorers to anytime TD props or the thrill of live in-game betting, every snap is loaded with opportunity. And you know I'm going with the Lions. They're going to take out the Ravens because they're going 16-1, baby. That's my guess. Of course, optimism, right? They're going to beat the Packers again. Don't Earl for the first time this year, right? So again, if you're going to bet, go Lions, man. They're going to the Super Bowl, baby. Again, for new customers, this one's for you. Bet just $5 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Plus, score over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use the code THPN. That's code THPN to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you place your first $5 bet. Plus, over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort. 21 plus, age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Fees may apply in Illinois. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. See sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos. NFL Sunday Ticket offer for new subscribers only and auto renews until canceled. Digital games and commercial use excluded. Restrictions apply. Additional NFL Sunday Ticket terms at youtube.com/go/NFL Sunday Ticket/terms. Limited time offer. And we are back, and we're getting Watson again. We were talking about Austin Watson in the preseason game versus the Chicago Blackhawks. We have the trader Elaine on here, who's a Chicago Blackhawks fan. Just saying. But she covers the Griffins again. We were back with that. So again, I'm big fan of Austin Watson. I mean, I also really liked. I thought Bear did a good job. Bear, he works his ass off, which I really liked. Yeah. I think that is huge. I know for some of the guys that I really wanted to see big moves. I'm low on Michael Brandsegg-Nygaard, and that's my own bias. I didn't see in SHL. He had bad numbers in the first half of the season, picked up in the second half of the season, and had a good playoffs, 3 points in 6 games. But that is a pick I wouldn't have gone in that draft again. But I also felt that way about Casper, so I'm wrong a lot. Just let you know.
I think that MBN and ASP play really well together, and it just makes sense to have them both on the same team.
Completely agree.
If you can, especially if like Ammo's on the ice on the power play with them, we saw it in the prospects game. It's magic. Like ASP lays a hit along the boards behind the net, and then they're able to bring the puck up. Ammo's able to just make a magic pass. I don't know. His passing got really good this offseason to MBN, and then MBN finds the back of the net. Like, more of that.
Yeah,
we need to see more of that. But it's, I think the ice difference as well can be a struggle.
Difference, yeah.
Yeah. Although, Anton Johansson, the one who's over in
Yep,
overseas.
SHL, yeah, 4th-round pick.
Yeah,
2022.
he actually did adjust to the ice size very well. And the GMs both noted that during the chalk talk, because that's usually the hardest transition for people, other than like, missing their family.
Sure.
But that's why it stinks to not have him back. But I get it, right? Like, you get to be with your family, you get to play, and it's made sense. I wasn't shocked. I was just like, oh man.
Yeah, well, and I begs the question. You're looking at, like, I'm going to talk about the 2022 draft. Defensemen take a little bit longer. Similar to goalies. Goalies take forever, right? But if you look at that draft, Marco Kasper is 8th first-round pick. He's in the Red Wings organization, right? He's on the Red Wings. You have Amadeus Lombardi in the AHL. Anton Johansson looking like he's about to, he potentially go from SHL straight to the NHL, potentially, if he does really well in the SHL. We've seen it before. But I mean, that may be a guy that wants to, could make a big splash. You have Buchelnikov coming out of there as well, who's lighting up the KHL. Tanias Mathurin, he is also a Russian pick. He just signed a 4-year contract with his Russian club.
Did they say, I saw that before I came on here, but did they say if there was an out in those? Because sometimes they have outs, right?
It's vague. There's always an out.
Yeah,
it's KHL.
There's always an out. There's sometimes when there's not. If someone's really good.
Well, there's an out there's a financial out. There's not. The player doesn't get to decide. The club would have to buy. Red Wings would have to pay to the KHL. Yeah. So as I'm saying, like, theoretically, there's always an out, but yeah, I don't think Tanias has the option on that. I think he's similar. I mean, he's a Russian kid playing in Russia. I'm sure he's like, hey, this is great. I'm getting paid and doing well. And he doesn't have an ELC or anything, so he's not getting paid by the Red Wings. So he doesn't feel any loyalty towards that, I imagine. And, so, but I think that's a draft that I'm really curious on, because I think Anton Johansson was actually a big piece that the Anaheim Ducks were looking for at the trade deadline for the Red Wings when they were trying to trade for John Gibson. The rumor has it was that the Ducks wanted a first-round pick and Anton Johansson, and which I thought was a price too high, especially with how well Anton Johansson did.
Yeah.
And only having to trade like a 2nd, a 4th-round pick, and Mrazek, I was like, steal. Like, complete steal. It was something around there. That was about the trade. I think I'm close.
Yeah. Where did that rumor come from? Did it come from the Duck side, or did it come from Detroit side? Because
that is a great question.
I feel like Stevie Y never talks. Oh, did he?
So,
then it probably was I wonder if it was from the Duck side. Because Stevie Y he's not chatty. He's not gossipy. I went from like one organization where the GMs and coaches are just like chat. Like, I got a summer this year because Stevie Y wasn't out there just like dropping like bombs.
He never does.
Right. Like,
it's the best and the worst. It's the best and the worst.
Yeah. I mean, being able to have a summer where you don't have to necessarily talk about hockey is a beautiful thing. I love hockey, but I also like to be outside.
Yeah, I haven't gotten. Yeah, that's fair. I haven't figured out what I haven't figured out a cadence, but I'm all on hockey. I was just talking about I talked about the prospects, like that we're gonna go to training or the prospects game. And I did a full breakdown of every player and where they're from and why this is good and everything. And my brother was listening. He's a Red Wings fan, right? But he's like, there's Red Wings, there's AHL signed guys, there's unsigned prospects, right? And there's guys who are invited, right? And I was talking about like the bottom guys and like, I mean, again, and like Danielson. And that's basically what I was talking about. And they're like, he's like, dude, I just couldn't keep up. Like, you were talking so above my knowledge base. And I'm like, yeah, that one necessarily wasn't for you. It was more for that I got a drip of water out of the sink, and I was slurping that, like squeezing the juice out of that as much as I could and trying to get as much as I could, because I was like, the other news was Travis Hamonic got signed in August. It was like there was not much to be working with the Red Wings and everything. So
I bet it's nice. I mean, like that's why I like to take the summers off, right? I hate that the season keeps getting longer and that things keep getting spread out even more. Like I can't. I like to have the summer off because like I have a day job.
Yeah.
I mean, luckily I like work for a lower stress environment now, so it's not as big of a deal. But I'm like, let me live.
Well, I would say so I have a job and I have podcasts, right? And a wife and all stuff, and like those are important things as well. But like you have multiple jobs. You have a job, full-time job. You're doing coverage of all these AHL teams. Now you're down to one, right? So
Yes.
you're in.
Yes. I mean, I'm touching
so,
base. I'm touching base on the AHL as a whole a little bit because there is some. I was I was the assistant editor for Full Press when they had the AHL site. And so I have like press releases come in from almost all the teams all the time. So I'm like, well, that's cool. Oh, that's a cool thing. So, I mean, the AHL is cool. And some of these teams don't even like have consistent coverage. And the Central is I think pretty well, has at least one person on site covering their teams, but every game, but like other divisions don't have that. It's a bummer because the AHL can be so much fun. So if someone sends me a press release and it's a cool thing, like a cool foundation thing, or like a player hit a milestone, I'm going to be like, all right, let's talk about it.
Well, you're a good advocate in that sense, I mean, because the AHL are guys that, they're so close, right? And some guys are down there because it's like try and break onto the Florida Panthers from their AHL team. Like, how do you kick someone off the Florida Panthers, right? That would be
if
tough.
There's promise, Bill Zito will find a way to bring him up. Bill Zito was the GM of the Monsters for a little bit, and that man he's magic.
He's killing it. I mean, he's the same organization who drafted Devin Levi. Yeah. I mean, now he went to the Buffalo Sabres to unfortunately rot right now, but it is by the way, like, and that's, I don't say that as like I hate the Buffalo Sabres. I want the Sabres to be good. I genuinely want teams to be good. Everyone has their own life cycle. Like I root for the Jackets. I think they're like underdog. I love that fight. Like not a big city, not a prominent city in general.
The Jackets, I feel like, are everyone's second favorite team.
They're in so I have tiers. So I have Red Wings is my first tier, San Jose, and then Dallas. Those are like hard three. Those are my hard three. Then it goes like Toronto because I listen to so much Steve Dangle and I just think their dynamic is so well done. And then it goes like the next tier is Philadelphia, Philadelphia Sabres. Goodness gracious. Philadelphia, Columbus, and then Buffalo Sabres. And it was the Arizona Coyotes. I'm
so glad that the Dones are getting involved in like someone who actually loves the sport, loves Southwest, loves Arizona, is going to be involved in it. And I just think that's beautiful. Like I was talking about, so the new video coach for the Griffins, he lived in Tucson for like 11 years. And we were talking about just like hockey in the Southwest, and it is growing, and it has been growing, and it's always growing. And for the NHL to let this guy just screw everything up and just like that was a huge miss on their part. And it's good that the Dones, people who like actually love and are passionate about this, are getting involved, because hockey is thriving there. People want to talk about these smaller markets. They want to talk about like hockey in the South. It doesn't belong. And then they're like, why doesn't people like my story? Because it's not growing. You're not letting it grow. Like, let it grow. I, for years, have been like on the horn, like New Orleans needs an AHL or NHL team. Like people can fight me all day on that, but just imagine the people that are going to come during like Mardi Gras or come to things when it's not Mardi Gras, because they're like, oh, I can go to the French Corner and like, hang out there and then go see a hockey game. Like it's possible. It works in Vegas. Why can't it work there?
The New Orleans Guillotines, like really lean French. Right. That would be the ECHL team. Let's rephrase that. And
that would definitely be like an ECHL team.
The guillotine would have eyes and everything. Like,
right.
like
the beignets. Yeah. I don't know. There's like a million things. Like you could name this. You could go all folklore on it. You could name them like something with like vampires or something. I don't know. Like there's witch doctors, anything. Like there's a million things. The marketing that you can take. The NHL isn't the best with marketing, so I have a lot of thoughts on it.
Oh, dude. I mean, they one thing I like that Steve Engel talks about is like this league hates itself. Like they work against their own best interests. Like and like I'm still so mad about the new CBA. I think what the players got nothing out of this. Mm-hmm. They can't sign for longer. They get 1 year less, right?
That's fine. That's fine. I hate long contracts. I hate long contracts.
That should be up to the player. That should be up to the player to do. Not like the free market should be. If you want to sign a $3 million deal for 10 years,
no,
great, awesome.
No one should. We need to save them from themselves, and we need to save the teams from themselves. So, like long contracts, it just puts you. I don't think that there should be like. Like I don't think everyone should be signed to like a 1 year contract or something like that. But I just think it's getting like ridiculous. And I think that's where sometimes we do see a little bit of complacency in like how players play too. It also makes it really hard from a development standpoint, right? Like if you have all these guys with like
buy them out.
7-year contract. Yeah, but like
that's your fault then, I guess.
Yeah,
look, right. Billy
like
Guerin did it.
I hate it. I hate it. I hate it so much.
See,
because then like a new GM comes in and a new coach comes in. Like I don't know. I like the shorter contracts.
So I will say I advocate. I believe. I mean, again, I'm not saying you're not. I'm pro player. If the player wants the bag and they want to get whatever they want to lock in the security. Because I look at John Klingberg. Was offered a 7-year deal for $7 million by the Dallas Stars. Turns it down, gets injured, he doesn't get injured. He signs a 1-year contract for $7 million with the Anaheim Ducks. Gets traded to Minnesota, and like he's just basically just been hopping around, being injured, and getting like small deals. I'm like, I'm the players have such a short career that I'm like, buddy, get your bag while you can. Become a millionaire off these billionaires. I'm okay with that. Like, take their money.
I'm also pro Stanley Cup. I'm also a lot of these guys with long contracts, they're not getting Stanley Cups. Listen, not everyone. Here's my thing. Unless I have a lot of thoughts about a lot of things. And one of them is like, if Sidney Crosby, like, and Alex Ovechkin, they have a certain thing. Maybe some of these guys that haven't proven themselves to be like those two shouldn't be on the same level. But also at the same time, Sidney Crosby won't get paid more like ever because he's super superstitious with the number 87.
Yeah.
So it's not like the best example, but there's a lot of, I could probably go on in depth for hours about how I feel about, and I feel about this in any sport, like just long contracts. I'm not a fan. I mean, 5 years, 4 or 5 years, that's fine. Beyond that, I'm like, and it's for both sides. It's not just because like it comes down to like a whole bunch of different things. I don't want to like sit here and bore you.
no, you're good. I think that's just something. It's just something that I just disagree with. I understand your thought process. I think 10 years feels a little too long, right? I think 8 seems probably a little longer than you probably want. Like, but I think the problem is we're arguing to a point where, like, we saw Austin Matthews sign a $4 million deal or 4-year deal because he knows his value. He knows he can make more money. Like, in my opinion, I think Connor McDavid should be signing 1-year deals for the rest of his career and just get his bag and make his money and build
like
it up.
Like LeBron, just do your option.
listen. Whatever. So the cap right now, the highest you can sign a player for is 20% of the cap. Would you take Connor McDavid for $18 million?
No.
No, you said you're pro cup.
Has it worked for him? Does he have a cup?
Girl. He's a lot more. He's a lot further than most guys. Most guys don't even hit the Stanley Cup or Stanley Cup Finals. Girl,
I got hot takes. I've got so many hot takes that people don't like. And
run your mouth. Go ahead. Let's go. Let's come on. Rip through these.
It's also a lot of money. I don't know. I just can't.
18 million now. So let's say 18 million for 4 years, right? Cap's going to have 5 million next year and the year after. So right there, you're already a lower percentage of the cap. Like you're already like now you're instead of being 20% of the cap, you're now 18 to 17% of the cap, right? And then 2 years later that you're probably gonna be closer to like 15% of the cap. And then it just and you think he's gonna get that much worse if he's 26 right now? Like
I don't know. We don't know. I'm not a listen.
Listen.
I'm not a GM.
I tell my wife this too.
I would be the worst GM because I'd be like, we're drafting a goalie first. It worked with Marc-Andre Fleury, okay?
So because it worked once. Oh yeah, you know who else was drafted first overall? Michael DiPietro, 15-year contract. So yeah, I think the Islanders are still paying that. I gotta look this up now. Anyway,
man,
your logic is flawed, Elaine.
I would put so much money into the ECHL and the AHL before I put money into the NHL, and then I would like move them all up.
Yeah, no.
If the team's not doing well at the NHL level, we're just gonna take the whole AHL team. We're just gonna, and then the NHL team gets relegated.
So I believe actually in
I'm
relegation.
kidding. I wouldn't hold on.
No, I want relegation.
I wouldn't do that. No.
Yeah.
No, because like, how does that work? I mean, how does that work with the AHL and the ECHL, right? Like if you have relegation,
they're no longer development leagues now.
Right. And it's not good for the growth of the game, is it?
And I mean, then you have true fans. So I think so. Like you look at in England, right? Like now, I think you should do it with a salary cap still, and you find some relegation, and across because think about this, like you're a ride or die, right? Like it's kind of like Wrexham. Wrexham was so low, and they moved up, and now they're in like the Premier League, right? And so like I think teams that intentionally suffer, they need to go down. I think the Arizona Coyotes should have gone down to the AHL. Bring up someone else.
I don't think they intentionally suffered.
but look what's happened to the Buffalo Sabres. I think
who would you bring up? Like it would just totally. I love the development leagues. I love the minors, so I can't get behind that.
I hear you. I hear you. No, I mean the thing is like you
like the Hershey Bears would get elevated like a million times.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I have some.
Okay, great. Awesome. Because like to me that it's like getting into a job you can't move ahead on. And so like if the Bears, do you think the Hershey Bears could beat the Chicago Blackhawks?
It depends on what year we're talking.
Isn't that now?
Right now? No, because they didn't do as well as they needed to last year. So a lot of their
they won the Calder Cup, didn't they?
This past year? No, that was Abbotsford.
The
Checkers. They played the Checkers.
You're right. Sorry. Because Archer Seelofs, who's now a Penguins, that's why.
They didn't play as well as needed. So a lot of their veterans are like gone. A lot of the people that they depended on are gone. So I would say no, not this year.
But isn't it
2 years ago? I would say yes.
Isn't that, to me, that's insulting of the NHL product. That an AHL team would if you have to consider an AHL team would beat the NHL team, I have to consider what are you doing? What are you doing as ownership to make your club thrive?
Well, here's the thing: in the AHL, they're playing each team they play like 12 freaking times, right?
Yeah.
In the NHL, they're only playing them 1 or 2 times. So the Hershey Bears, if they knew that all they had to do was beat a team 1 or 2 times, they're going to beat that team 1 or 2 times. That was their mentality like 2 years ago. So that's why. It's not like it's not like me going, I think OSU could beat a NFL team, which they can't because that's a whole story. But
Yeah.
It's not like that.
I will say
if you're looking
Valley,
at the different differences and stuff.
Grand Valley State University, where my wife and I went to college, where we met, is a Division II football team, and they beat or Division II, and the football team beat Michigan State.
Listen, I remember when Boise State beat Michigan.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm just saying, like I think it's just fun. Like I said, I want chaos. I like chaos. I love trade season. I like who plays on who, like who signed where, what, you're like, oh, Ehlers, I forgot he was a Carolina Hurricane. You're like, oh,
I'm just very pro minor league. I'm very pro minor league. I love the minors so much. I think that doing something like relegation would definitely just mess a lot of stuff up, and it would be wild, and it would be too wild. And
but think about this, imagine the Grand Rapids Griffins became an NHL team. You're now an NHL beat writer.
I don't care.
No,
I don't. There's a reason why I only really cover the AHL. It's not because it's not because I can't cover the NHL. I definitely could. I've had offers to cover it for places. I just really love the AHL. I think eyes need to be on it. I think I think the developmental league is great. I think the stories are great. I love the passion from people down here. I love, I know people think I'm crazy. There was a time in my life where I was like, oh yeah, I definitely want to cover the NHL. And then I started interning in youth hockey, and I was like, oh, this is cool. And it opened my eyes differently to how things are in other leagues. And then I started covering the Monsters, and I already loved the Monsters to begin with. Sure. And the Wolves, from growing up. And I just, no, I know it's a weird answer. I am so obsessed with the AHL. I think it's so beautiful. I think that more people need to give it a chance, and it's just a different vibe. I don't know. I just like it. I actually like it better than the NHL, and I know people get
wow.
I know. And there's nothing like hockey, though. There's nothing like hockey.
True.
There's also nothing like a Stanley Cup. Like that. I would love to see a Stanley Cup win, but I think about Cleveland when they won their Calder Cup, and I was there. I was there as a fan, not as a credentialed member of the media.
Yeah.
And that was almost 20,000 people screaming their heads off. It's Cleveland. We won a championship. Oh my God. Cleveland City in general. Yeah, people should pay attention more to the AHL. And
I don't disagree. I think the AHL is fun. I think these jerseys, we talked about the Grand Rapids Jurassic Park jersey, that's cool. To me, that's I wish more teams did that, special jerseys like that, and played with them. And I think that's it's fun and it's silly and everything. And I'm a huge fan. So I think that I like the small community that you guys have, because it makes it just that much more fun. I don't know,
yeah.
I think it's
I don't really know the fans here yet, because like I said, a lot of the time I was on Zoom press conferences.
Sure.
And so people got to know me a little bit that way, and followed me that way. And then when the Zoom press conferences went away, I wasn't in the locker room, didn't have the insight as much anymore. And the press box is so high up. I don't really have a moment where I can go down and just be with the fans. In Cleveland, you're the press row. It's not even a box, it's a row. It's a section, and it's fans are on the sections on each side. And so you're always around the fans. I created a family there with the fans. And so I'm looking forward to hopefully doing that here in Grand Rapids. I don't know how, but I want to I want to know what these fans are like. I want to get to know all of that. So I'm really excited about that too.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure Nick will help you integrate and everything into the community. So if you haven't checked out Nick's podcast, the Hockey Town West podcast with Travis, and I don't know the other guy's name. Brandon. Okay. Yeah. So he talked about Travis, and he mentioned Brandon as well, but I think one's in Toledo, and the other two in Grand Rapids.
Yeah, Travis is in Toledo. He's at every walleye game.
Wow.
He interviews the players. He's fantastic. I love Travis so much. He's actually going to. We did an interview, and I need to edit that, but he's great. Yeah.
Why edit? Just go right through. It's fine.
No, because it needs to be split. There's some things that need to be cut out.
Fair.
And yeah, Nick and Brandon are here in Grand Rapids, and Nick is like my best friend. He's like my little brother.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So let's jump back. We keep jumping around to the game. So this is a chaos episode. If you're new to this, it's a chaos.
It's always chaos with me. If anything, people will learn from me is I know how to derail a lot of things. When I covered the WJC police conference in February of 2024, not long after my question, actually it was like right after my questions, the police guy went on like a rant about how like we shouldn't be so focused on the hockey aspect, even though we were very much focused on all of these things because we don't want this stuff to happen again in hockey. And I was like, man, I am derailing things on an international level. But yeah, it's always chaos with me. So
which it was the World Junior scandal, WJS. Which is the sexual assault case with the 5 players. Mm-hmm. The one you're talking about, the 2018 Hockey Canada program. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's a time for another podcast. I don't know.
Yes, so I'm not talking about that now. There's too much. We'll let people like Rick Westhead and others talk about it because they've been covering it more consistently. I just had to stop because there was just too much going on and I couldn't give it the proper voice that it deserved. So people like Haley Slavin and Rick Westhead are just absolute beautiful follows for that. They're just beautiful humans. Ian Mendez, like I got to meet a whole bunch of them up there. They're just absolute, genuine, beautiful humans who just want the sport to be as beautiful as it can be.
Yeah, for sure. So real quick, I want, again, you're familiar more with the Chicago, right? As more than you are Red Wings prospects?
I'm familiar more with the Jackets prospects because I was in depth covering them for 9 seasons.
Okay.
Now this season they lost a few key players, so now I'm kind of like a little bit. I didn't keep up on it this summer because I took a true summer off.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, so
no, you're good. I actually, again, I have a huge heart for the Blue Jackets, and I'm excited for their future. I think they got a lot of good stuff. Of course, they just picked up Ivan Fedotov as well. Just saying. They buried his contract. They sent the AHL already?
Is it?
It says it's buried right now. So
what does
I don't
that
know.
even mean?
I don't know. I guess we'll find out. So, but either way,
I don't know what that means.
Usually it's buried in the AHL usually. So I don't think they waived him though. That'd be weird. They just acquired him to waive him. But Jet Greaves looks so good.
Oh God, I love Jet Greaves. Oh my goodness.
I'm actually a huge Ellis fan. Huge. I think he's like John Gibson, like in a bad situation, but a good goalie. So John Gibson was like a good goalie in a bad situation, and he was bad, and then he had a good year and got traded, right? Yeah. I think Elvis just needs to have a good year and then move on, right? And I think I honestly wanted to do a Jari for Merzlikins swap. I think there were two guys that were just not working out for either team, and I was like, it's just change of scenery, and they're very, very similar cap hits. Yeah. I thought that would have been like a smart thing.
I just can't imagine Elvis playing anywhere else. I'm trying to picture it and it's not working, but I also don't want Jet to play anywhere. I want like Jet is so.
He's the future. Jet's the future.
It's not just that he's just like I don't personally know Elvis that well, so I'm not speaking. Whatever I say is not indicative to Elvis's personality.
Yeah.
But when you cover someone personally face to face for so many years, you kind of get to know who they are. And Jet is just a gem. He's so amazing. Mm-hmm. And he just, I don't know, he's such a good goaltender. I'm so glad he's getting his play this year, and I hope he's like starter on night one and just balls out.
I think based on the contracts of Elvis making $5 million and
they don't care.
Really?
They don't care. They don't care how much money at this point. They want who's the best one. They're not going to put money into that.
Sure. That's fair. So
yeah. Not all teams do that. No. Some teams are like, well, we can't do anything because they make too much money. Well, that's your fault.
Yes. Yeah. I Justin Hall is signed to a contract with the Red Wings. So that was one of those ones where you're like, I think Justin Hall is a fine third pair defenseman. Mm-hmm. I think he's too expensive for a third pair defenseman. And that's kind of where you end up getting guys that are above their skis when it comes to roles. When it comes to Red Wings, I really like Sherratt as a third. I think he's a phenomenal third pair defenseman. I think he'd be a decent second pair defenseman. I think he's ask of more than he needs to be. When you think of oh yeah, we're going to put Sherratt against Nathan McKinnon, Crosby, a McDavid, a Barkov line. He's a very good defenseman. He has a role, but you need certain attributes to be able to take on those top lines. And so that's what I think about guys. I'm like, okay, I think, sorry, I don't know how I spun off on this, by the way. But it was I think you said if there's a role, and I think if there's a good role, I think Elvis is a prove it year as well for him, because he needs, we know he wants to be traded. We know they tried to trade him, and then no one wanted to take him because they're like, hey, you're not good. Based on the conversations that Waddell said, they're like, hey, I think I'm going to paraphrase.
For the contract size, yes.
Yeah, he's not worth the value. Yeah. So, I mean, it's similar with Grubauer. Grubauer in Seattle has not. Again, that may be a good situation as well. Trade Grubauer and Elvis and see if those, that could be something as well. I'm trying to think of 1-for-1 swaps, right? What makes sense? Yeah,
I can't even think of one that makes sense.
But you think about teams that are on in that weird spot, you don't want to, Elvis doesn't want to play on San Jose. He doesn't want to play on Buffalo, probably, right? You need him in a spot where it's there's something that could be here. Someone that,
Elvis really just wants to play. He wants to be a starter and he wants to win. So, I mean, he would probably go. I always joke and I'm like, let's do a 1-for-1 with Detroit.
Dude, you don't think I would have I'd have an Elvis jersey? Absolutely. But now look at it. I would take Talbot, and currently I take Talbot. I don't know if I take Talbot over Elvis. I think based on last year, I probably would, but then Elvis isn't going to be a starter. He'll be 30 to 35 games. Gibson's going to play at 45, right? So,
it'll be interesting for them. It'll be interesting.
Yeah.
I'm interested. I did not watch many Red Wings games the past few years.
Buckle up, girly.
So right now I have to, because I'm only covering the Griffins. So when I only covered the Monsters, I would watch the Monsters game. I would watch as many Jackets games as I could. And then I would also watch the 3 games before of the opponent that the Monsters were playing. I'm not doing that. That's crazy.
Wow.
With my job. But that's why I was able to give the level of analysis I was in the beginning of the Monsters, because I would know what that team they were playing was doing before. I don't have that kind of time or mental space anymore. Sure. So it's just going to be strictly the Griffins and watching as many as I can for the Red Wings, because I do want to be able to tell people where I think a player will fit or will the slot in, because sometimes you'll have a player who's doing really, really well in the farm team, but there's not a place for them up top. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you don't want to take a first line center and then throw them fourth line wing if it's gonna
Danielson. Danielson,
why would you
put
him up there to sit when you can have them play big minutes? And then, you also don't want to stunt their development, because if you keep them down there too long, it's a balance. So you watched the Griffins last year.
Who has a higher ceiling, Danielson or Mays or Casper? Because to me, I think Casper has a higher floor and Danielson has a higher ceiling. And I don't know what I want out of my second line center because second line, because Danielson's not a third line center. Casper would be a better third line center.
He needs to work on his face. Danielson needs to work on his face-offs for sure.
Yeah.
He did mention that he wanted to work on his quickness, and by quickness, he specifically said like the first like three
strides.
steps. Yeah, he was like he said that in end of season media with us. And I was like, yeah, no, that's good. And he is almost exactly there. I'm glad to see that it's definitely something he worked on. But the face-offs are face-offs are such a big thing. But I do know that also, like, when you look at the face-offs, you also have to depend on the flanks. Who else was on the ice with him? Like,
so you're dodging.
Because I don't know. Because I just
you.
know, like, if Danielson comes in and he does well with face-offs, then I would say Danielson. If not, then I'm not sure.
Because to me, Danielson,
because I didn't get to watch Casper as much.
Okay, so because to me, Casper plays a harder nosed game, so that's why he thrived on the top line with Larkin and Raymond, because he can play in the corners, he can play rough and tumble. I see Danielson as like a diet Larkin. You know, he's a good two-way player. He's not going to put up high points, right? But he can thrive in the role. Yeah. I think the speed's not there as much, but there's a decent amount of IQ, and he's very defensively responsible.
Right.
And so
most of the time, yeah,
for his age, I'd say, you know, like
he also has that dog in him. Okay, he has no problems taking your stick and throwing it. He has no.
Yeah.
I will say, like, if Emmitt Finnie had the size and strength and as Danielson does, that kid would be starting night one up in Detroit.
Let's find out. I think they're not too far off, are they?
But it's just like Emmitt
Finnie's 190, 6'1". Danielson's an inch taller, and Danielson's also 3 pounds lighter.
But it's like like when you see them together, you see the difference. He's also comes in stronger as well. Like,
really?
He's just, he doesn't get knocked over much. Let's put it that way. He's strong on the boards. Like, if he was this, if he had that same, like if Finnie had that same attribute, I think, I think Danielson got bigger this summer, though, even bigger.
He might have. Honestly, I'm looking at Puckpedia right now, so he might have got bigger. So,
I think just from my eyes, I don't have any like actual. Well, I probably do actually somewhere.
Well, honestly, and he turns 21 on Saturday, so like he's getting there, right? So to me, he's a guy like Emmitt Finnie's still 20, right? Like Nate Danielson's practically, like, I think 9 months old, or is 9 months older than him. So right, so there's room to fill out for both of them, right? And to me, I see Danielson. I think he needs to stay in the AHL because I want him to have top line minutes and I want to see him thrive in that role. I think when you're looking at who's going to be coming up to the Red Wings, you're going to have a Carter Mazur. I could see an MBM, but I think he needs more time to develop in the AHL. But that same grind grit game, because to me, you want a guy like MBM will play. I don't know if he'll be a top six. I think he's more of like a middle six guy, where he plays a little bit of harder game. Again, correct me if I'm wrong, but to me,
I think eventually he could be a top six.
I agree.
It's just not right now. It's not right now. He needs to adjust, and that's why I think,
like, you don't put Danielson on the third line wing, or like, you know what I mean? Like it seems like underutilization of his skill set, and you would he needs to probably work on his defensive game, but he's already pretty defensively responsible. Like, to me, I want to see how high we can get this ceiling, how many points can we get, how much skill can we get out of him and squeeze those juice, right? Whereas Carter Mazur most likely will only pan out as like a bottom 6 guy, and that's good. That's okay. There's guys that play those roles, but with you pick a guy ninth overall.
Wait, were we comparing Mazur? I thought we were comparing Casper. If Danielson, I think, has a higher ceiling than Mazur.
No, yeah, sorry. No,
okay, no. I just want to make sure.
I'm saying going into the season, season, Carter Mazur is more likely to make the team because there's room in the bottom 6.
Yes, because there's room in that. Yes.
Where Nate Danielson doesn't have room right now. Like I don't think he's ready to take on a top left wing. I also don't think he's ready for a second line center spot. So you put Danielson in the third line center or third line wing, you're kind of underutilizing his, that's not great for his development. You rather him play a crazy shit ton of minutes and the Griffins, right? Where Carter Mazur can play top line minutes in the AHL, top 6. But we know that Carter Mazur will most likely pan out as a third, fourth pair guy. And that's okay because of the role he has, right? And
it's also different from team to team, right? So some teams roll the lines a little bit better. So if you're third line, that's fine. You're going to get the playing time that you need. You're going to have the guys on the team who can keep up. But some teams don't roll the lines like that. And so if you're on the third or fourth line, you're going to you're not going to see the ice that much, right?
Yeah.
So in this situation, there's not, it almost is counterproductive to bring up Danielson before there's a spot for him, but also you don't, like I said, you don't want him to once he hits that AHL ceiling, you don't want to just keep him there. So then you have to decide what happens from there.
So 26-27 season, he's on the Red Wings.
So this excites me. This year is gonna be rough, right? I don't think people understand. I think eventually, the good stuff is gonna happen, not this season, but next season. I think we're gonna see so many guys get elevated, and they're gonna come up together. And then, this is what would be so wild and crazy to me. What if then all of a sudden Dan Watson is the head coach and he's coached these guys in the ECHL, the AHL, now the NHL, and they know his vibe. They've all played together sometime at some point. That's when the magic happens. Sorry.
Yeah. I also agree. So my hot take, and I've said this on multiple, you can quote me, Chris Ilitch, come after me. I don't care. I think what he saw is he said, I have a new, and the rumors are out there that he said, I got a new building and I haven't seen playoff games in it. I want playoff games. So then Red Wings go out and sign Sherratt and Kopp. And they signed I think it was 12. They acquired 12 new players, 11 through free agency and 1 through trade, which was Alex DeBrincat. And they tried to force this rebuild quicker than it needed to be. And so the Red Wings were, not good enough with all these big contracts. And then I believe Yzerman wanted to tear it down longer. I believe that Red Wings should have tore it down for longer. That's why you end up with you get Simon Edmondson at 6, which is fine, but you'd rather get higher. I think that was the McTavish draft, right? That would have been great to have as well. Again, I really like Ed, by the way, but Ian, again, you're still not good enough. You get Casper. We like Casper a lot, but does he have the highest ceiling, right? There's just certain things that I think that Chris Ilitch, the owner, stunted the Red Wings growth. And I think Yzerman's I've been telling you patience. And he's I tried to get some guys. This is what, I'm now also I also like that Yzerman's here you go, guys. I've given you everything. I've given you the path. I've drafted you. I've developed you. Your fate is in your own hands. And I hated when when Larkin said, I really wish he would have went out there and got someone for us. I was you should be owning, if you're not good enough, just own that you weren't good enough, or own that the team didn't step enough.
Well, and that's kind of owning, hey, we needed that one other piece. We just feel it's there.
So then you're saying that the guys on the team aren't good enough.
Well, sometimes they aren't. I mean,
and that's okay. But that's kind of where you have to have that. It's funny. I'm GM. That's how I always think. I don't think like a coach. I always think in the GM. I think of I think trades is so interesting, trying to predict them, what makes sense and all that stuff. So if I had a job in the NHL, it would be GM. AGM, give me talking trades, give me talking development with these guys. And to me, I'm always like, I think Yzerman is trying to do the best within the confines of what he has. There's a talks with Chris Elliott about signing Steven Stamkos, and Stamkos wanted, which hindsight 2020, but this is where you're seeing again. This is the rumor that is going around that they talk about on the radio and everything. So that's just a bunch of podcasters like ourselves just spitting rumors. But the thought was that Stamkos wanted $8 million for 3 years, and he was like, well, Nashville's offering me a 4th year. Can you guys do a 4th year? And Chris Ilitch was like, I'll get back to you on it. And Chris Ilitch didn't respond to Steve Yzerman. And now Stamkos signs in Nashville for that 4th year. And it's like, now is Stamkos going to be the first overall draft pick that he was? No. But getting he's a different leadership position than an Andrew Kopp, a JT Compher, a Sherratt, where you've seen this guy has not only, high level, being a high draft pick, but having Stanley Cups and being under Julien Brisebois and bringing that high level of compete and high level mentality and the high IQ when it comes to play. This guy scored 100 points before, right? It's the same reason. It's the same impact that Patrick Kane has, right? That he elevates the team. And I think there's some things that, again, ownership has just held the team back and what they wanted to do. And it's been a bit frustrating. So,
yeah, well, actually that's, I talked about this in my podcast episode 1 of the season, the beauty of the red and white game, that C.V. Yzerman literally said he's so excited about the future, but it is painful and frustrating to get there. Mm-hmm. Exact words, painful and frustrating. And he didn't say I get it, guys. You guys are frustrated. He's saying for himself, it's painful and frustrating. And I think that allows you to see this other side of Yzerman is the human as well, because he's just like all the other fans. He is in pain and he is frustrated.
Yeah. I hear you.
Yeah. No, I think they did rush the rebuild too much. I think you need sometimes people are impatient about rebuilding. They don't understand that it takes time, and a true rebuild means you're tearing it down. You're losing your Jonathan Tayses and your Patrick Kanes. You're losing them all. Yeah. You're going bye-bye. I know that you're fan favorites. I know that, but sayonara. You're gone. I mean,
which by the way,
so crass. That's
which
not
by
how,
the way, no, but it's the next phase. I mean, to me, it's I'm Red Wings fans had the playoffs for 26 years in a row. Playoffs, 26 years.
Oh, was it 26?
Because I was 20. The playoff streak started in 1990, which is when I was born, and you can Google it. Go right ahead.
I'm pretty sure. I swear, I thought it was, or maybe it was Les Mis was on Broadway for 21 years. They had a longer streak than Les Mis was on Broadway.
Yeah. No, it was, I'm very sure it was 26 years. And so you can correct me as I'm talking about this, but in those 26 years, supposedly, you win 4 Stanley Cups, and you're so salty that you're the problem is Red Wings fans are impatient and they don't recognize that you had such good times. And
it's 25 seasons.
Oh, okay, 25. Okay, sorry.
But still, that's a lot. That's
what I'm saying.
That's a centennial. That's as long as the Blue Jackets have been alive.
That's what I'm saying.
Centennial. It's not a centennial. That's 100 years.
Yeah. It's a quarter century. I got you. You're good. You're
That's what I meant to say. It's as long as the Blue Jackets have been around and played.
Exactly. So it's
and I could see that being frustrating. It's frustrating for any original 6 team. I mean, look at the Canadiens. When was the last time they really truly won something? In my lifetime, and they're still
86. I want to say.
So when I was 1.
Yeah. I can look it up. Yeah. No, I think
the original 6 teams, the 6 of them are going to look at and they're gonna have like these high expectations.
93, by the way. Sorry.
93. Okay. So the original 6 teams have been like, it's just at their core that they're like, well, we're the original 6. We've had so much success in the past. Why can't we have it now? We're the original 6. You know what I mean? And
it sounds like entitlement.
Yeah, but you know what?
It's the same reason people that same mentality is the same reason people pick on Columbus Blue Jackets. It's because, oh, their little baby brother. We're the Montreal Canadiens. We're the Chicago Blackhawks. We're the Detroit Red Wings. We're original 6. Everyone wants to be here. Michigan puts out the second most NHL players in the world, so of any state. So of course people want to come here and everything. Like Montreal, okay, it would be iconic of 24 Stanley Cups. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's so pompous. It's like, and I'm like, get over yourself. Like,
I love how I say this, and my least favorite team of all teams in all of sports is the Yankees, and I hate them with a passion.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting here like, it's okay to win games. It's okay to accountable.
Well, that's no salary cap. That is the Pittsburgh Pirates guys need to sell their team. But that's what I'm saying.
I get it. I get the like. I mean, that's a long. I mean, just think about like that's a long.
There's a lot of teams,
but there's also that's like a long time to go in the playoffs, right? Like,
yeah,
and then to just not be in the playoffs, and how bad did they like? I would be stressed and perplexed. Okay, like I'm so used to being a fan of teams that go like 0-16 that I'm like, all right, well, that's cool. I had a good time at the game tonight. But but like when 25 seasons, right? Like there must have been a time during that run towards the end where there were players on these teams who were not even like born yet.
Yeah.
So like when you put it in that perspective, like all you've ever known
minus 2025, you're looking at a 20 or a 17 years. So I mean, like guys that are drafted right now would have been born in 2008.
Yeah. So like there's so much.
Yeah, but
you have to look at it that way. Like I can see, you're so used to vibes are being high, and I mean,
I don't know. Yeah. When Kenny Holland said a full rebuild takes 8 to 10 years, I believe
it does. It does. And like sometimes people get lucky and it doesn't happen. It happens a little bit faster, but they didn't push it.
So there is I'll look it up. So there is a Hockey Writers article, and they talk about how the Red Wings, and I stand on my soapbox about this, is worst dropping in the draft. And so what Red Wings in the last 10 years have dropped the most of any team in the draft, because in 2020 they finished last in the league and they drafted 4th overall. And so someone did that. They say, oh, they should have landed in this spot. They dropped 2 positions. Well, they should have been here. They dropped 3 positions, right? Like it was chronic, and I got to find it. It's one of those things that I'm like, in draft luck is a thing, right? We're not going to these high level players. But that is something I think Yzerman's making the best of the situation that he has, and I believe. If you can't believe in anything of Yzerman, you can believe in his drafting, like his free agency picks, like mediocre trades. You have Petrie and like DeBrincat. Like DeBrincat wanted to come here, so kind of forgot he fleeced him on that.
But he also doesn't want to sell the farm either. You know what I mean? Like there are teams who will be like, "Oh, my farm team is doing well. Here's 5 of our players for this one piece that's not going to pan out. Maybe they'll pan out." Yeah, he's at least smart in that sense, where I just wish that they would invest more. Like I wish that there was more AHL only players on the team, and I also wish that there was more ECHL players but I can't be a beggar. I'm new. I can't ask for the moon yet from these GMs. Wait, you're muted.
learn them. Don't worry. So you'll get it. You can ask a lot of them. I'm sure Eisman loves being asked about all these. Hey, are you gonna get fired? Do you hear that?
Right, like, ugh. I don't know. I think he gets asked the same question over and over, and that has to be like really annoying. It's different if people ask it all in the same post, like the same press conference.
Oh
like,
yeah.
let's just keep asking. Maybe it'll like wear them down. Like sometimes you gotta.
Yep.
But they're not even rewording the question sometimes, and I'm like, I mean. I don't think he really, I think he cares, but I also don't think he really cares. He's just like, I'm doing my job, doing what I can with what I'm given. And I'm just a dude that loves hockey that gets to GM a team. Like that's the vibe. That's the vibe I get from Yzerman. I know, I mean, like I still look at him like, whoa, that's Steve Yzerman. But like, I also get the vibe that he's just a regular dude.
Yeah.
Like, he's just a dude. Like he's just a guy.
He wants to win so badly. That's why he won as many as he did. So
yes.
I just sent you the article in the last from 2013 to 2022. You can read it later, but Red Wings have dropped a total of 8 spots in that 10-year span.
That's rough.
Yes, yeah. I mean, like it was just crazy. So I mean, even the Moritz Seider draft, they should have drafted 4th. You're after 6. You know what I mean?
But you know what? Bo Seider, he was a menace to society during that red and white game. And if he brings that energy into the regular season, I think that the Wings are going to be just fine.
Cannot wait. Honestly, I am so excited. Cannot wait. I'm ready for it. Inject it into my veins.
Yeah, I'm actually excited to watch some of these games because of him. Because of him.
Yeah, absolutely. So
because of the level of competitiveness he's going to bring, because he did it against his own teammates. He's like slamming into his own teammates, and I'm like, man,
fighting JT Compher and everything.
Oh gosh, he was under JT Compher.
Obsessed
the whole time. I was like, this is amazing.
Yeah, no, I hear you. So, but anyways. Let's wrap it up. We've gone an hour and a half, so this is a long episode. Yeah, it's a good amount of time. So again, we had a lot of detours here, but it was a ton of fun. Like I said, we'll
wait, I can't hear you. Where did you go?
At this part, but yeah, my wire disconnects and muting. And so it's incredibly frustrating when I'm like 35 minutes into an episode and it does that, and I need a new microphone. So, but yeah. So, anyways, Elaine, tell us where we can find you. I know we get the Graced by Rain pod. What else you got, or what you want to elaborate more on that? What can we get if they dive into your content?
Yeah, so I write at gracedbyrain.com. That's my website. I'm on all the socials. The best way to find me is I'm a rain dancer. That's like my main one. I use Grace by Rain pod on X, but everything I only have it also for Instagram. But like that's basically where you find me. I have podcasts where I talk about literally anything and everything. If you follow me, just know that like you're not just getting hockey talk and you're not just getting sports, you're getting everything.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for solely hockey, you're gonna get really annoyed if you follow me.
Well, it'd be a diverse amount of content, right? I mean, like I said, you have a lot to offer, and so I mean, there's a lot of interest in everything. But I mean, you will be covering the Griffins, so we may be looking to have you on again just to talk Griffins, and I will have to keep you on track to keep you on talking just Griffins, because you'll be the 3rd Griffins beat writer that I've talked to, because I did the Grand Rapids, the Griffins pipeline, and talk to them, talk to Nick of Hockeytown West, and now talking to you. So I'm trying to get, I want to know the specifics, right? Because I'm mostly cover the NHL. I'm seeing guys that like, okay, well in their head, 1 point every 4 games. I'm like, okay, so is he more defensively responsible, or is he more like, you know what I mean? Because you can anticipate like, you can see like if a defenseman has a half point per game, like, that's a pretty good defenseman, right? On offensively, right? And so but there's some of the defensive stuff that doesn't show up on the details of all that kind of stuff. Like, how responsible they are. I know Danielson, you'll see, half point per game player. You're like, okay, but I don't know what it looks like defensively because I don't watch the games like you guys do. So
right, yeah, and that's what I wasn't able to dive into it as much last year as I'm going to this year. So I'll have a lot more insight. My brain automatically still goes to like the monsters and stuff when I'm talking about things because that's what I did in depth for 9 seasons. So now that I'm going to be full Griffins, having me on during the season, not the first month, because I'm going to be like readjusting to everything. But there'll be a lot more insight. I watch the game usually twice when I'm covering the team.
Wow.
Like when I'm in the arena, definitely watch it twice. Like in the arena, and then go home and like kind of
rewatch and watch the announcers and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and
make sure I didn't miss anything or like.
Well, I mean, you got to be cranking out content like crazy. Then you're probably writing an article every game.
Eventually, yes. My brain was so broken last year because I worked for the federal government and going through all of that at the time, but now I don't. So like my brain space is a little bit better. And then I didn't write much this summer because I moved here and I was trying to adjust to that too. So
you'll get into it. Like I said, less stress jobs, and you're gonna get into it. It's gonna be so much fun. And honestly, like I said, I look forward to seeing you just crank out articles. Like I said, it'll be fun. I'm not a writer. I literally, in my voice, I genuinely was talking to my wife about this. I was like, because I was trying to get media credentials to the Red Wings. I'm like 30 minutes in the arena. And Nick was saying that you need to be a writer to do that. And I'm like, I genuinely was going to upload my podcast to AI and ChatGPT and have it write me an article. Because I've seen people, they'll do that. They're like, hey, summarize this into an article. Cause I don't write stuff. Like I know I can talk, but like, I don't write stuff. I'm not a great writer and I can talk to you, but like, I need a ghostwriter. I was telling Nick this. I lovingly say, and it's arrogantly say I'm the talent. I can talk to you. I can throw to you. I can transition well. Like those are the types of things I can do. I'm pretty good at those things. I'm not great at keeping people on track. So I'm not a great host. I'm not like a great producer because I don't really edit, right? Like my thumbnails are not great. Like I know that my strength comes from excitability, hot takes or crazy takes, and some like the in-depth knowledge that I have, right? And I have a pretty wide berth of all teams, which is why I cover a lot of them. But yeah, so that's like I know my place. And in writing, I even voice to text because I hate writing. That's how much
I've always been writing since I was little. That's just been one of my wheelhouses. I have many wheelhouses, but writing's been like my thing. So yes, I do. It's going to be game recaps after every game.
Nice.
I don't know if I'm doing like weekly roundup to kind of dive into how the lines do or bi-weekly. It just depends on like time, but there will also be like a monthly recap to say like how they did that month. Where are they placing in the things and in the league, stuff like that. So, and then the features whenever I can do them. It just really depends on how this season goes for me, because I'm also adding that element of the podcast where I do the weekly, like the beauty of the Griffins, and find like one or two things that was beautiful about it, and then do like a 15-minute podcast about it. So we'll see what I can juggle. We'll see what I can do. I just want to make sure that I'm like being consistent and giving people a like good analysis, because there are a lot of I think this year more than the past 5 seasons, because this will be my 6th season, I think there are more prospects that people from Detroit will be wanting to know about.
Absolutely. My fans will absolutely tune into that. So we appreciate you taking the time and everything, Elaine, and we'll catch up with you soon. I appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Talk to you later.